All right. Good morning, good morning. Beautiful yogis, new and seasoned, joining now or joining later. Go ahead and take a moment to find that comfortable seated position. And as you tap into that comfortable seat, go ahead and begin to turn your attention inward, focusing on the breath. Allowing the eyes to close. And just for a moment, allowing all other distractions to fall away. Taking away the visual stimulation. If you hear any sounds in your background, the sounds of my voice, just allowing them to be. Do not attach to them, just allow them to float by. And continuing to connect with that breath. Pulling that air deeper into the belly. And beginning to extend that crown up towards the sky. And begin taking that oxygen into the belly. When you exhale, squeezing the belly, squeezing out all the air. As if it's a sponge. Inhale into the belly. And exhale. A few more times at the pace of your own breath. As you're ready, allowing the eyes to open, straightening the legs out in front of you. So you take the legs nice and straight. Maybe bounce the knees out for a moment. You're going to roll your thigh in as you pull a little flesh out from under the sits bones, finding that nice grounded seat, getting a little inward rotation on the legs. Your knees should point straight up. Go ahead and straighten your legs and just start with the hands behind the back. Pressing into the hands, straightening the spine, straightening the legs. Keep pulling your pinky toes back towards your nose. See if you can feel a stretch in the back of the legs there. So we're going to begin to work into our sciatic nerves, also known as the life nerve that runs all the way down the back of the legs. This is a space in the body known for bringing youth. So as we work it, as we stretch it out, it allows us to maintain our natural youth. From there, go ahead and bring the hands forward, nice straight spine, beginning to walk the hands down the legs. Finding that nice sweet spot as you're still pulling those toes back towards your nose. Finding that nice deep stretch down the backs of the legs. And if you're just waking up, you might find you're a little tighter at the beginning of class versus the end. So we're going to come back and do this right towards the end. But if you begin to find some opening and you can walk your hands down your legs a little further, do so. Continuing to breathe into the belly, continuing to connect deeply into your seat. Keep lengthening out through the crown. Extending the spine. And dropping the chest towards the legs. On your next inhale, coming all the way up, draw that left leg into the thigh. So you open that left knee out to the side. We're going to take just the right leg, walking back down. And let's flow with the breath here. On an inhale, you might straighten the arms. And on your exhale, bending deeper into the stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Can you get a little deeper each time? And inhale all the way up. Switch sides. Right foot comes in, left leg straightens. Redo your little inward rotation. Nice straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, dropping down. Using the movement to find more opening. A couple more breaths here. Inhale. All the way up. As you draw those legs both in, bring the soles of the feet together into butterfly. Maybe you grab on the outside edges of the foot, feet, draw those knees open, draw that chest forward. Maybe the elbows get to the legs, and you kind of press the knees further out with the elbows. Keep that nice straight spine though. Lengthening through the crown, you gaze gently down. Keeping the back of the head, the very top of the spine, right in alignment with the rest of the spine. And release. Bringing the heels out wide. Quite a bit wider than your hips. And you can try a couple positions. Support yourself with your hands and begin dropping the knees from one side and then the other. Beginning to lubricate through the hip joint. Finding a little stretch, finding a little opening there. Press that front knee towards the mat, getting in a little deeper. And then hold for a breath or two one side. Keep pressing. And up through center, other side, and hold. And center. Draw the heels in together, make your way onto your hands and knees. Give me 2 seconds while I readjust my hair. Finding that nice neutral spine. Stacking the wrists under the shoulders, knees under hips. Tucking that belly button up and in. finding that neutral spine. Lengthen through the crown, lengthen through the tailbone. You're still tucking that belly button up and in. Your core is strong. On your next inhale, release, drop the belly, raise the tailbone and the crown. Exhale back into cat. Pressing the spine up, tucking that chin under, opening the back of the neck, tucking the tailbone, and at the pace of your own breath, inhale forward, exhale back, tuck, tuck, tuck. A few more times. Waking up, warming up the spine, getting as much movement, as much mobility in between each vertebra as possible. And taking some sassy cat-cows, maybe roll the rib cage around, dropping it down. Continuing to feel into the vertebra. Maybe go a little forward, a little back. Investigate the spine. If you take it one direction, take it the other. Where are your tight spots? Maybe you get the neck involved. And as you're ready, return back to neutral spine. Take that left foot back, press out through the heel, opening again through the back of the leg, especially the calf. Press into the hands to continue pushing out through the heel. You're pushing your hips back. And release, right side. Press out through that heel, open through the back of the leg, pushing through the hands. Bringing the knees into center so they're touching. Really spreading those fingertips now. I mean, hopefully you've had them spread wide, but spread them again. And let's do a little wrist stretch this morning. So take that right hand, the fingertips back towards your body, and press the palm against the mat. Your left hand remains forward for support, unless you open up your wrists a lot. This is probably already a pretty intense stretch, so we'll just do one at a time. And just pressing that full palm towards the mat, fingertips are spread. You should feel a pretty good stretch in your forearm. If not, you can begin to shift your hips back. That will deepen the stretch. And lift up and release, switching to the left side. And a couple more breaths here as you keep pressing that palm down. And release. Now we're going to take the top. So opposite side, the back of the hand, of the right hand comes to the mat, pressing it down all the way to the wrist and straightening through the elbow. Come forward as much as you need to get the whole back of that hand on the mat, and then to get that nice stretch in the back of the wrist, probably all the way up through the back of the forearm. You can just begin shifting your hips back until you really get that stretch. All the little nooks and crannies, opening up, finding space. I'm going to do this in the legs and the hips today too. Just focusing on opening today. And release. other side. Almost there with the wrists. Opening, stretching all those little spots that we really don't get into very often in our daily lives. Maybe unless we're playing with kids a lot. Or you do circus or something like that for a living. And release. Great, now we're spreading those fingertips nice and wide. Always spreading the fingertips nice and wide. Your knees are still together. I'm going to start with the left leg. Beginning to straighten through the back, through the glutes. Tuck that belly button up and in and lift that left knee out to the side and in. And lift and in. And as you lift, you're going to keep working that right hip towards center. So keep trying to remain centered over that right knee as best as you can. Your hips are going to want to go out to the side to compensate, but we really want to be building the strength. Here, these will be the muscles that help us in our balancing poses. So keep pushing towards center, just a couple more. Last one. And released. Left knee back to center, right alongside the right. Recheck those fingers. Tighten that core. Relax through the back of the neck and left side. Lift and release. The knee goes straight up to the side. Keep hugging the left hip towards center. Just a couple more. And release. Nice work. Knees are together, toes are together. Shift those hips back. Child's pose. Chest drops down. Forehead comes to the mat. And inhale back forward onto the hands and knees. Tuck those back toes under. Hips go up and back. Adho Mukha Savasana, down dog. Maybe you take the feet wider. As you gaze back, swivel the heels so they're just out of view. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Roll those biceps, roll those armpits in towards the ears. You should feel a spreading happen across your shoulder blades when you do this. Inhale, gaze forward, bend the knees. On your exhale, float or step one at a time, feet to the hands, dropping down into your forward fold. Bring your feet about hips distance apart. The insteps of the feet are parallel to one another. Use the beautiful little lines on your mat to find nice parallel feet. Bend deeply into the knees as your fingertips touch the mat, and then move towards straight just as much as you can while you're still touching the mat. And straighten, still working through that life nerve. Opening up through the backs of the legs. This is where a lot of lower back pain can come from. Stretching the sciatic nerve. Just a couple more. Connecting movement to breath. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Tucking that belly button, rolling the spine up one vertebra at a time. All the way up, head and neck. neck come last. Inhale, arms up. Gaze up, mini back bend, as if your upper back is falling over a waterfall. And exhale, hands to heart. One more mini back bend. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down to forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, place your hands, step back, high plank. Taking an inhale here. On your exhale, lower down, chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, baby cobra. And release. We're going to play here with baby cobra for a few breaths. Lift your fingers and palms off the mat about an inch. Rock back and forth. Get your hips nice and planted. Tops of your thighs are nice and planted. Tops of the feet are planted. Now, press the hips into the mat. This will tighten up your glutes. So hips are pressing down, feet are still pressing towards the mat. And now, roll your shoulders back, down, away from your ears. Palms come up. Chest comes up a little higher. Back of the head comes up a little higher. You're using the back strength to lift into this baby cobra. Now place your hands and press just a little higher. Still activated. Still pressing the tops of the toes into the mat. And then pressing up all the way back. Hips go up and back over the knees. Down dog. Nice work. Taking a deep breath here. On your next inhale, right foot goes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bending the knee and stepping through low lunge. Opening up through the psoas here in low lunge, through the hip flexors, through all this little connective tissue where the thigh meets the pelvis. See if you can get into any little tight areas there. Pressing out through that back heel, straightening the leg as much as you can. And drop that back knee to the mat, top of the foot comes to the mat. As you strengthen through the core, always using our core to move our upper body, coming up. Anjaneyasana. It's like a ground crescent pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open at the elbows, press the chest up. Drop the hips towards the mat. Arms come back up and exhale. Place hands, shift those hips back. Half Hanumanasana. Toes come up and off the mat. You may need to shimmy them forward. Get that front leg as straight as you can. Option 2, add blocks here to help get you a little straighter in the upper body. If you're still working into flexibility, I am. If you can keep a nice straight spine and your hands on the mat, please feel free to do so. Both together today, so continue to shimmy that front foot forward. Looks like my camera's playing with colors. Keep shimmying that front foot forward. Drop then that left hip back towards the mat, so you're going for a nice even across the spine, nice and even, squaring off the hips to the front of the mat. Keep working on straightening that front leg. We're working towards splits. Wherever you're at today is perfect. We're just opening up the body, opening up the hips, opening up the backs of the legs, fronts of the legs. Increasing our mobility, our ability to show up in the world and enjoy ourselves. ankle to get us there. And if your front heel went off the front of the mat, it's probably going to catch it on the way back in, but go ahead and begin to slide that front heel back. And as you slide it back, bend back into that front knee, remove the blocks and place the hands, tucking those back toes under, pressing the hips up and back to release that front leg. Coming into down dog, bending one knee and then the other, maybe flattening the mat back out. And left leg comes up on an inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step through low lunge. Taking our time here. Rock back and forth, drop the hips towards the mat. And drop that back knee to the mat. Keep pressing the hips forward. Inhale through the core. Finding that balance, coming up into Anjaneyasana. Open up the elbows, press that chest forward. Keep dropping through the hips. Inhale, arms back up. Exhale, place hands, shifting those hips back half on a mat. Working towards straightening those front legs, peek back and down. Is your right leg perpendicular to the mat? If it's kind of falling out to the side, squeeze the hips back in towards center. Again, option 2, take blocks here if you have blocks. I pretty much recommend taking the blocks here. They're oh so nice. You can get a little straighter in the spine. And now that you've opened up with a few breaths, begin walking forward. Continue to shimmy that left foot forward as much as you can. Re-squaring off the hips as best as you can. Breathing into all the tight spaces. Just taking a moment to find that opening here. See if you can find that release as you breathe. Are you relaxing through the jaw? Are you relaxing through the face? Are you using the breath just to move the tension out from around the pelvis, the thighs, the muscles in the legs? And as you're ready, beginning to shimmy that front heel back so you can bend the knee and place the hands and tuck the back toes under. Shift the hips up and back, down dog. On your next inhale, bending the knees, gazing forward, step and or float your feet to your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, nice strong core, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Adding more balancing in so we can continue to work those muscles. So you can go on epic hikes, Zion, or wherever you may like to go out and enjoy nature. Take a step back with that left foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Bend into that front knee and begin to take your upper torso at an angle. Pretty much the same, not pretty much, let's just call it the same angle as your leg and back. So you're creating a teeter-totter, a nice straight line through that back foot all the way through the crown of the head. And then begin to teeter-totter over that front leg. Keep the micro bend in that right knee. See if you can keep dropping that left hip towards the mat and you're squeezing in through midline. Relax through the toes. Draw out through the crown. Press out through the ball of the back foot. So your whole body is active here, but you should feel a pretty good tightening, a strengthening in that outer right hip region. And dropping that back foot back to the mat, coming back to standing. What is up with my camera today? Step forward with that left foot, step back with the right. Pointing the toes, beginning to extend the torso forward, bending into that front knee. Begin to teeter-totter. And as you begin to find your balance, keep going, hugging that left hip in, firming it up, pressing through all four corners of that left foot, out through the ball of the right, extending out through the crown, breathing here. Drop that right hip down towards the mat. So your hips are square. You're firming up, squeezing, 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 probably shaking, but maybe not. And release. Nice work. Stepping the feet back to the front of the mat. That's our balance work for today. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, place hands, step back, high plank. Inhaling here on the exhale, dropping down. Inhale, baby cobra, or maybe all the way into up dog now. Exhale, back, down, dog. And now we come into pigeon. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, come straight through, shin to the mat. Back knee drops. Work that front shin towards parallel to the front of the mat. Keep that front foot flexed, protect that knee joint, and take a peek back. Is that left foot, that left leg tracking straight behind you? If not, make all necessary adjustments right here, right now before we drop down. If your right hip is still pretty far off the mat, shove a block under it or a pillow, giving it a little support so it's making contact somewhere. Begin to drop down onto your elbows if that's available to you today. We're going to breathe here. Maybe you come all the way down onto your forehead. Relaxing through the back of the neck. Relax through the shoulders, relax through the face, eyebrows, eyes, jaw, cheeks, throat. All relaxes. Breathing here. A lot of the new techniques and sciences coming out are showing that traumas, and all of us as humans go through trauma of one sort or another, and that these traumas can get stored within the body. And so instead of, or maybe in conjunction to, going to therapy and just trying to release these traumas mentally through mental faculties and journaling and talking about it, it is actually super effective and super helpful to move these traumas out somatically by moving the body, moving these trapped, stuck experiences, emotions, patterns that we've developed based on cause and effect and observation out of our body, so that we can start new and fresh and take each present moment as a new experience. Instead of reacting, we can now respond. Coming back up onto the palms of the hands, tuck those back toes under, shift those hips up and back to find that release into down dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. Take that left foot up, three-legged dog, exhale, step through, moving that shin towards parallel, flex that front foot, gaze back. Is the right leg tracking right behind you? If not, make that adjustment, and then begin to close that right hip towards the mat, left hip supported with a pillow or a block. Now make your way down onto your elbows. Again, we're looking for that release here. That release through body movement. That opportunity to create more space. To come to every new interaction, to every new experience as who we are being right now. Not some version of ourselves from the past. Just breathing here. I feel like I talked for a while through the other side, so I'm going to try and make sure that I get the sides about balanced. And if they feel like I don't for you, then spend a few extra breaths even when I begin to move forward. Find that sweet spot for you. This is your practice. This is about your body. So utilize the mat, utilize this practice as such. It's just an offering and an opportunity for you to explore your body deeper. This is not a rigid practice. It's an evolving one. And if that's feeling about even, go ahead and press back up onto the palms of the hands. If not, take a few extra breaths. From there, you will curl your toes under, press those hips up and back, finding that release in down dog. And whenever you make it there, please do take a moment to bend one knee and then the other. And as you're ready, the knees will come to the mat, shifting the hips off to the side as you make your way all the way down onto the back. Roll down one vertebra at a time. Find that nice even space, that even pressure between the shoulder blades, even pressure between the hips. Rock the hips from side to side. Knees come with it a little bit, kind of massaging your sacral area. Take that left leg over the right. Drop both knees over to the right, gaze out over your left shoulder. up through center and switch across the legs. Dropping over to the left, gaze out over your right. Inhale up through center, and as you uncross, draw those legs out long. Opening the arms to the side, making your way into Shavasana, final resting position. Finding the center of the head, feeling the way your body rests against the mat. Go ahead and release control over the breath. Sinking deeper into this relaxation. Allowing all your muscles to relax. From the top of your head down through the neck. Backs of the shoulders. The backs of the arms and hands, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back and hips all relax. Down the buttocks, backs of the thighs, the calves, ankles, soles of the feet and toes. Relax through the top of the foot, through the shins, knees. Relax through the thighs, through the front of the hips and the belly. Let the belly completely relax. Let the rib cage relax. The lungs relax. Through the throat, through the chin and the jaw and the lips. Relax your nose, relax your eyes, relax your cheeks. Relax your forehead. Relax your chest. Relax your upper arms and your forearms. Relax your wrists, palms, and fingertips. Completely relaxed. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and maybe you take a long stretch. Arms overhead as you bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Take a moment to roll onto one of your sides for fetal position until you're ready to push yourself slowly back up to seated, head and neck last. And as we meet back in Sukhasana, easy seated position, just allow the backs of your palms to fall to your knees. As your hands open up, in receiving. This is the opportunity to set an intention. But adding on today, as we set our intention, as we pull our intention into focus, I want you to also add on, how does it feel fulfilling this intention? So say my intention is to connect with more people. I don't really want to feel awkward doing it, and so I would add on, my intention is to connect with more people, and it feels easy and fun. So setting that intention and how it feels to fulfill that intention. And with that, one more deep breath in, deep breath out, hands come to heart center, seal it in your practice for the day. And now you get to take it up and off the mat and out into the world. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. Happy Hump Day.